teens in Ross County, as well as a funding source for those teens who were volunteering to live a drug-free lifestyle, the Buck 50 was born. Please welcome Dave Huggins, race director of Southern Ohio's premier 150-mile relay race, the Buck 50.
Check, check. All right, I'm here tonight to tell you about how our 150-mile relay race inspired people to begin running and has helped saving the lives of our teenagers in our drug prevention program. So there's no secret that our country is facing a drug epidemic. Thousands of people are dying, and in the summer of 2015, we learned in our local Rotary Club through a series of speakers about how this problem was affecting families. We very quickly looked around the room and we decided that we needed to make a plan of action. We needed to do something now. So we learned about a program in Cincinnati, Ohio called Drug-Free Clubs of America, where these teens would volunteer, take an initial drug test, be subjected to random drug testing, and then they would receive rewards both in school and in the community throughout the school year. So a typical Drug-Free Clubs of America chapter had about 18% enrollment. It was usually one school at a time. And what we felt like in Ross County we needed to do to make a serious impact was we needed to do something a lot bigger. So we had a goal of enrolling 25% of the students. We wanted to roll this out into 8 schools at once. So we were looking for about 100 kids per school. And then we knew that the cost was going to be $67 per student, so we needed to raise about $50,000. So we went to Drug-Free Club and said, we want to do this, we want to do it in 8 schools at once, and they said, you're crazy. Nobody's ever done that before. And they were right. We were crazy, but we had a mission and we had a purpose, and it was these kids. So what we were able to accomplish in our first year was 1,695 students, which was almost 50% of the students eligible to join the program. These students roll up on the Ross County Courthouse each fall. They talk about how this club is impactful to them and their peers, and they use peer pressure in a way to influence their friends to join this club with them. These students call their program MADE, for My Attitude Determines Everything. And so now we have 1,695 students, which is about a $100,000 bill that we have to pay. And how are we going to do that? Boom! The Buck 50 was born. Our relay race is 150 miles, 24 hours, 10 runners, 2 drivers, and 1 great cause, because all of our money goes to these kids. The race is broken up into 30 different legs of the race. There are 29 checkpoints. Each runner is going to run 3 different times. So if you're runner 1, you will run leg 1, 11, and 21. And once they get to the finish line at Ohio University Chillicothe, they run down as a team, knowing that they conquered this 150-mile journey together. As with most events, our race is built with volunteers. They are the backbone of race weekend, and they are the rock stars that make this event happen for us. These 29 checkpoints are filled with churches, civic groups, businesses, all going out to support these runners and support these kids. They'll have music, they provide food, they're cheering on the runners as they come into each checkpoint, and as you can see, it's high fives and big smiles everywhere. So the race is broken up into 30 different legs of the course. But there's one particular leg that's building a legend on our course, and that's leg 24 that we call the Double Black Diamond. We're at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, and our course has about 9,000 feet of elevation gaining. And this is a good friend of mine, Matt Bird, who took this video during the race, and I'll let him tell you about his race experience.
Dave Huggins, Matt Bird, Lake 24. I'm writing or calling or whatever to say I hate you. This is the worst run I have ever done. And I have no doubt Paige cried on this. This is miserable. I have no idea what hill I'm on. I took a picture at the top of one, thinking I was all the way there. And then there were 5 more. And I'm finished. I will find you. And I will kill you.
So, obviously Matt Bird did not kill me, but he is a good friend of mine. But, you know, we felt like this opioid epidemic that we're facing is very challenging, and our course should mimic that. So, we utilize all the hills that we could find in Southern Ohio, and we rank our runners 1 through 10 in level of difficulty. So, we have runners that this is the first race they've ever ran, but there's all different levels of experience. So, what's our market size? Have to be 18 on race day to participate. We're targeting runners in Ohio and throughout the Midwest. We bring in runners from 21 different states as far away as California, Florida, and the East Coast. Our average age runner is 38 years of age, and it's 45% female and 55% male. And we're really on a mission to inspire people to live a healthy lifestyle through running. So one of our success stories is Principal Nathan Kaplinger. In the first year of the Buck 50, he went to his teachers and staff at Huntington High School and he said, "We're putting a team in the Buck 50. And they say, "Nathan, you're crazy, you're not even a runner." He goes, "I'm running for these kids and I'm running to help this community." Since that time, Nathan has ran in all 3 of our Buck 50s. He's ran multiple half marathons. He's run every leg of the Buck 50, documenting his journey, and it's completely changed his life. So who are our competitors? Nationally, there are about 50 different relay races that range in the area of 100 miles to 200 miles, and they'll utilize 8 to 12 runners. Quite frankly, it is a logistical nightmare challenge, depending on how you want to look at it, to put on a race of this size and scale. We need agreements from 30 different landowners to use their property for the weekend. We deal with county officials, city officials, the State Highway Patrol, sheriff's departments, police departments, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. We're filling out permits. And so quite frankly, it's challenging to do this. That's probably prohibitive in why there's only about 50 of these in the country. But that was not going to prevent our team from putting on this race and making it successful for our runners and our kids. So how do we make money? We have runner entry fees, and in our inaugural year, you can see we had 38 teams. Our race is in April. We just finished with 83 teams last month. Our goal is to have 100 teams in 2020. And we currently have 43 teams registered for our April 17th and 18th relay race. We will max out at 150 teams, and who knows, maybe 2020 is that year. We sell sponsorships from $500 to $25,000. You can see our growth over those years. And this year we were able to add a platinum level sponsor to $25,000 level with Adena Health Systems. Over the last 3 years, our gross revenue has been $640,000. We've spent a bunch of money, and we've spent $601,000 of that. But as you can see, everything that we're doing is going back to these kids. We've invested $390,000 that has helped 5,821 members, which is 61% of our gross revenue. We spend about $45,000 a year to put on the race, and we have some other miscellaneous costs throughout the year. So since our very first meeting on September 24th, 2015, when Brandy, Jason, and myself sat down and we decided we wanted to create something which eventually became the Buck 50, we had a few simple goals. We wanted to raise some money, we wanted to help some kids, and we wanted to inspire people to run. So since that time, like I said, we've invested $390,000 into these teenagers who have voluntarily enrolled in drug-free clubs. And according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, for every dollar that we invest in prevention, we save $7.40 in criminal system and treatment costs. So at this point, the Buck 50 has saved $2.8 million to help these kids. So our relay race is a team event. The group that you see with us tonight is a team, and these folks are the folks that work all year long to put on the Buck 50. We just finished year 3, and social media was a buzz during race weekend. People are sharing photos, videos, making comments. Our runner retention rate is crazy, 70–80%. If we can trick you into coming once, we'll keep you. But Senator Bob Peterson probably said it best when he posted and said, the Buck 50 is such a great event, raising over $200,000 for Drug-Free Clubs of America in Ross County. As Margaret Mead once said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. We're the Buck 50. Go team!